and we'll just let him know, hey, I'm grabbing a few clips, and we'll get started here in just a second. I got to share my screen with you as well. Don't mind the screen I'm sharing with you at the moment. It will be different, obviously.
Feel good.
Okay, that's all set. Pull this
Easy.
over here. And we should be good to go. All right. I think it's my intro this week.
It is.
All right. I'll let you know when. 20 seconds, though. And 10. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. What's up? This is Answer the Call. If you guys aren't familiar with the show and this is your first time tuning in, it's a podcast with myself and Croncy. We both stream and make YouTube videos on Twitch, and then we kind of open the calls to you guys where we start the show off talking a little bit about the news of the week or a specific topic, and then we open up our Discord to you so you could share your thoughts on the topic. And yeah, so get subscribed if you're new on YouTube, and yeah, check us out on Twitch if you guys haven't yet. But we got a lot to talk about today. We are in December, Croncy. It's 4.0 isn't out yet. CIG really, really wants it out. So that's one thing that's going on. We had an awesome SCL about crafting, which is something that is near and dear to both of our hearts. So I think we're going to talk a lot about that and a few other things like some just changes in the 4.0 patches that we'll go over. So get into the caller queue if you guys want to get in for that. It's already full, but if a few more of you guys want to get in, we will. I think we had a really good time just kind of hammering through them last week. So I think it'll be a bit better on that front. So what do you want to talk about first? I mean, there's a lot to go on. Do you want to go about like sort of in chronological order?
Yeah, let's do it because it also kind of works with what was released this week.
Sure.
So obviously at the end of the podcast last week, we had the finale of IAE in more ways than one because we also had the final IAE show. And this counts as a return of Jax McCleary. I don't care what anyone says. This counts. This was a full episode with a interview of the voice actor for Jax McCleary, and it was really cool. It was really awesome, very unique, something that we don't get to see very often.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? I forgot to turn off the intro, but I remembered to go in. If any of you guys are streamers, I went into studio mode and I turned it off.
He did it.
Are you guys proud of me?
Again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a really cool episode. Also really cool just to get a bit more of a sort of behind the scenes of how their like performance acting and stuff works, right? Because it's another thing we don't get to see very often. And then just a bit more about the character. It was cool. Obviously, not much to say about it in terms of how it impacts the game or anything, but
that's what this was about.
Jared fawning over this the entire time, and I had the exact same reaction as Jared did the entire time.
This was the last couple episodes were like, Jared, thank you for everything that you do. Go have some fun, and he did, and that's the way I'm looking at it. So yeah, it was pretty good. And I definitely enjoyed the episode. I think most people think that I would not because, it's not I prefer the gameplay stuff. That's my preference. That does not mean I did not enjoy the episode. I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then in sort of a similar vein, we had an episode of ISC with kind of just more fanboying, but also some good info from Pedro.
Legend.
Yeah. Pedro, for those who don't know, writes most, if not all, I think it's most though, soundtracks in Star Citizen. So
and then there's Jeff Sinelli for Squadron, right? Like there's kind of they have two composers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, if any of you have watched any streams of 4.0 or you've been playing 4.0 at all, you would have noticed that there's been like a big sort of undertaking from them to go a lot harder on the soundtrack side recently. And yeah, this is all Pedro, and it's
Yeah.
been so good. So yeah, this was just an interview with Pedro. You know, why did you come up with these certain themes for certain planets and for the jump points and whatnot? And I loved the inspirations that he had for all of his sort of different aspects. Yeah, it was another really cool interview. Also, like one of the shortest ISCs we've ever had,
Yeah.
which was interesting as well. It was like 9 minutes long.
I was really
But
actually
it was
kind of
dope.
I was somewhat critical about it, which is why Pedro actually came into my chat yesterday. He was like, "Hey, it wasn't my fault."
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Hey, Pedro's music is S tier, but the
Yes. Yeah.
the implementation of his music in 4.0 was S plus tier."
Yeah,
It is. It's really solid. This is the first patch that I have not turned off the music. I know a lot of people turn off music. For me, I was turning it off because it almost was never on in previous patches for me. So it's like, why would I have it on when it does come on? It's kind of abrupt. It's weird. Now it's not that I didn't like the music. It just never fit. Now it just
Or it never worked.
Yeah, or never worked. Right? Yeah. It's like this smooth transition into what you're doing. And if like I go to a certain planet, it plays the song for that planet while I'm there. It's just so good. So for anybody who's calling in today, have you guys are you guys leaving the music on, or are you going to your kind of default? A lot of people default to turn off the music. So I'm curious about that. But that was it was a really good episode and I enjoyed it. Another kind of Jared special, just Jared loves to highlight the people that make these things kind of happen, and this was the opportunity to just highlight it and just let them be the star, right?
Yep. And once again, another side of the dev cycle that we don't see, because we are usually looking at just pure gameplay, right?
Yeah.
But you've always got to remember just how impactful things like soundtracks can be to an experience, especially like the reason that they were talking about it, right, is jump points in 4.0. The soundtrack experience of doing your first jump in 4.0 with the music is just it just makes everything like 10 times better. So
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So that was like the news, well, like the regular weekly news type stuff that we get, right? Was those sort of ones. But then we had all of these things happen with 4.0.
Yeah.
All of these different updates. Start with the advanced HUD.
Sure. What day did that come in? Let me look.
I want to say it was like Wednesday or Thursday or something. Or like my Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. Well, your Wednesday, Thursdays are kind of my same. I got it.
Yeah.
It was Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they introduced the new HUD, people were iffy to say to give it the sort of best explanation, the best light. You lost a lot of ease of access of information, I guess, with the new HUD implementation. So they've brought a lot of that information back from the old HUD as an optional feature, and given it a facelift too. Like it's not literally like they've just slapped the old HUD on.
No, everything's positioned in the same places essentially for the most part.
Yeah.
But you get a little bit more info and it looks a little bit better. I like I don't remember having a strafe HUD before, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. So I don't know. I like it, but I like something else.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you could turn off everything and just fly by wire basically, and it's just a more immersive experience. So it's giving players options, which is nice. Apparently we did have the strafe one before. I thought we only had this
there was like
G-force thing.
I think that's what they might be referring to. Yeah, we had the G-force direction where it was telling you like where you were heading. But yeah, I don't think we had the strafe one.
Oh, they're saying we had both.
Apparently we did.
Yeah, I guess I never noticed it, and it really stuck out this time. But fair enough. And hey, I think some people like this. Now you have the option to use it.
Yep.
Or don't. One thing missing though, the amount of shots you have on your weapon. So you kind of like have to keep the MFD cast up to be able to see that, which was kind of crap. But I'm sure they could tweak it just a tiny bit based off of some feedback.
Exactly, yeah. Like the previous feedback of we want to see a bar altimeter and we want to see like a bar speed graph and stuff
Yeah.
in the way that they brought it back worked. So I imagine those sort of the sort of feedback that you're mentioning will come back. But
Yeah.
yeah, overall big fan.
What's your preference though? Because it's
Uh,
this. It's essentially
yeah,
this
yeah.
or this.
If
Like number
I'm
one or number two.
in
It's like an eyeglass appointment.
in combat, the second. I think I prefer the second because the information is just
Yeah.
more centralized and just easier to see. But I do like the other one feels like a cleaner HUD.
Yeah.
So like yeah, if I'm just gonna go around doing cargo, or even if I'm like honestly like piloting a capital ship where some of that information isn't as relevant necessarily, I'll probably just like chill
Turn them
with the
all
first
off.
HUD.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
turn them
honestly,
all
yeah.
off too, which is sick. I think I do that at some point. I don't know, maybe not in this one. I do it somewhere, but
One nice touch, just
go
because
for it.
you're on the page there. When you do go into quantum mode, it like pushes
Yeah, let's see
the
if I can find
the
it.
HUD out. And it's just
Here
a
you go.
cool little animation, right?
Here we go. Yoop.
Yeah, just
Kind of
just a
cool,
little push.
right?
This is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, a neat little thing, and same for scanning because
Yeah.
the half circles or whatever are in the exact same spots. So it's pretty
Mhm.
neat. But yeah, so that was one thing. Another was, I don't know if you caught this one. Let me see if I can find it. No, it's not here. It was the following day. I think it was. Yeah, check this out. This was in the squadron demo. It's another, they added another thing. This is only on capital ships. Enable course
Yes.
prediction.
Yeah, I did see this.
So
So this
I'll
is
zoom forward. There you go.
yeah, there you go. That is such a sick introduction, new random thing.
This is what I
Yeah, it's
did with
cool.
it.
Obviously, you're not going to see it very often unless you're in, because I think it's only capitals, right? I think you can only see it on the 890 and the Polaris for now. Someone correct me if I'm wrong if it's on any other ships. But yeah, it's cool as hell. It's just a cool little AR feature.
I did my own squadron demo here. Welcome to Pyro. He was shooting at things, so I had to take care of business.
Yep.
Welcome to Pyro, brother. But other thing, so that happened on Friday. Another thing on Friday, mission prices. Apparently, I'm missing a lot of info on this, is the prices are like even better in Stanton or something like that. Like, there's salvage missions in Stanton, 69,000. They're paying you no buy-in anymore.
Yeah. They'll straight up pay you 69K to like finish the mission.
Plus, you also get the RMC. Like, hello.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah. Economy team overall, because this will also go with one of the other things we're going to talk about in a sec. Economy team is getting their paws on the patch right now, and there's a lot of things changing. They did specifically mention in the patch notes that this was part one of the mission, like money change or whatever.
Yeah.
So expect a lot of changes even before 4.0 goes live, because one of the other big economy changes, as well as a Spectrum post, missiles and torpedoes are not just really expensive now, but also they will not come back on a claim.
Yeah, this is sick. So the podcast was like 1 or 2 minutes late. Reason being, I was salvaging missiles off of ships in Pyro because they're that valuable, and I just wanted to kind of see how that worked. Another thing that happens is like the first time you spawn your ship, I don't think it has any missiles on it. So this was my restock price for a 100i.
Yeah.
The repair price is halved. That was in the patch notes as well. And the repair price was 540 credits. I was completely damaged. I was about to die. Like one more shot, I was dead. 540 credits to repair. That's it. A little bit weird. And then the restock is 10K. So don't really know what's going on there. Like you said, it's part one of a refactor. So we'll see what happens with repair costs and stuff. They might be having them and then raising prices somewhere else. Not really sure. But yeah.
That is the thing. The main thing that I've noticed is it feels like for this first pass, like prices and rewards were kind of just raised across the board, which that mostly means that
Everything stays the same.
yeah, in terms of like gameplay, everything sort of stays the same, with the exceptions of missiles, which are much more expensive. Which probably just means they want, or like they got the feedback from players or something that they don't feel like they're making enough money, right? Like literally, sometimes the psychology is just higher number makes you feel better, and then you balance from there. So we'll see some more changes soon, obviously. But then yeah, missiles. So there's a Spectrum thread, or a Spectrum comment. Missiles will no longer be restocked on claim. And I have some opinions. I do think this is how it needs to be in the future, for sure. It is just like
It's awesome.
missiles are whether or not missiles are powerful right now, they are supposed to be, and they should be this like big resource that you don't want to risk all the time. Especially when we're talking about the size 9s on the Retaliator or the size 10s on the Polaris.
Yep.
But it is still really rough to do that right now, I think, with the state of the game.
Yeah. Like, it just comes down to the cost to repair. If so, a torpedo on the Polaris is 500,000 credits.
Yeah.
You fire a few of those, it's going to be really expensive, right? There are no missions that pay 500,000 credits that we know of right now. And if you complete one mission, what do you do, right? So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. That's where I'm kind of seeing myself come in, and I go, all right, well, they cost, or they sell for 140K in Grimhacks. So I'm going to sell them to orgs for 150K. So hit me up and we'll make some deals. But at the same time, that also means you have to manually load them and blah, 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 blah. And it's not exactly fun to do that. So the idea here is I'd like to just go and repair and get my stuff back, right? Like, let's keep it simple. And they're not exactly keeping it simple. So I'm kind of with you. It like doesn't quite feel like the right time because the game is so scuffed.
Yeah.
Right? So
it feels like now it's just going to be like once again, I want that to be the case, that they should be more expensive and you should be risking them less. But it's the reasonable gameplay right now, and probably for the foreseeable future for a while, is that in practice it's not going to work so great. So I'm hoping before 4.0, either the prices come down or they remove the like no coming back on claim. Probably not both, honestly. I think it would maybe be fine if you don't do both for the current state, but we'll see where they go. It's only been a couple of days since they've made that decision.
Yeah, I see a couple of people in chat saying like, if I have to reload my missiles, I'm just not going to use them.
Yeah,
it's like fair. And then on top of that, I can't think of a mission I would want to use a missile in.
Yeah, regular missiles, like there's but like the big torps.
Yeah, I mean torps. Sorry.
The only ones that I would use them in are like the Save Stanton Idris event, and that's it. Like that's pretty much the extent. So.
Oh, here's a good question. Can you load torpedoes from your Moby-Glass when it's stored? I don't know.
I don't know. Someone go do that. Tell us.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because if you have them in your inventory, then that pain, it goes away. Tumblerino says, yes, you can. There you go. All the pain's gone then. All right, hit me up, 30K Inc. We got you guys. Because it's actually really easy to move them on landing pads and stuff, like cargo pads and stuff. They move really nicely, and it's kind of smooth rotation. Getting them out of the Polaris is not nice at all. It's brutal, but yeah. Okay, cool. That's actually awesome. In-game solutions to stupid development problems.
The ultimate dynamic economy.
Exactly. I love that stuff. I literally live for it. That's what I play this game for. And when it's there, I'm obsessed with Star Citizen. When it's not, I'm bored to death by it. So yeah.
One of the other big 4.0 things that happened as well is they upped the DGS. So we are now so we are now at 500 players in the Shard total, with I think it's four servers on either side of the jump point. So 4 in Stanton, 4 in Pyro, 500 players. this was the very first time I actually got to see people. I was in a server yesterday that was like almost max. It was like 480 people or so. And I saw people around in like the trams and whatnot in Stanton.
Yeah, it
and
felt
I was kind of
alive.
freaking out. Yeah, it felt alive. And then they also did it was kind of cool. They did a spontaneous test while I was live too, for, hey, everyone go to Hurston.
Wait,
We're just
you
gonna get
were
everyone there.
around for a test? You actually
I
got
was
to
around for a
participate in
test.
something? Let's go.
I got to participate in a test.
I
CRG
was
like
not.
me now, I guess.
Yeah, I was
So yeah,
not. I
they just
missed it.
like spontaneous 30-minute test. They were like,
Yep.
hey, we just want everyone to go to Hurston, everywhere but the Lawville, and just get some data. And so yeah, I got to see. I think it was over 100 people in this one ground zone, but by the data, it looks like we had over 230 people, just at Hurston.
Nice.
Which was kind of crazy. The only issues we had were just literal like computer performance issues because I'm looking at like 20 Polarises,
Yeah.
30 Carracks of people like landed and whatnot, which is obviously going to be a problem they're going to have to overcome, especially when we get back to larger dynamic events like Xenothreat. But yeah, it was wild actually seeing that many people together. I've missed every test where this has happened, so this is cool.
Yeah, exactly. You missed all the server meshing tests on those like the initial big pushes, right? For the most part, because of the timing. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I got a little bit to say about that. I hope the way they're doing the current server configurations is temporary, because yes, everything feels improved except for desync. I would say desync is still an incredibly bad issue. I have not had any issues with elevators today. So I am dealing with a little bit of a weird problem. Somebody messaged me and said that there's someone impersonating me on Discord. So if you guys are listening to this, I'm not messaging you, okay? Most likely, I am not messaging you. Look at it.
He doesn't even message me.
Yeah, their name's like SaltEMike 1, but their name on the just like looks like me completely. So also, they're using a different image. It's my logo and not my face. My face with a mustache is my logo on Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, but we had the DGS 6 servers for 500 people. So that's more than 100 or less than 100 players per server being used.
Yep.
So it's more being used, more compute capacity is being used now with that configuration than before. Then they went even worse and went to 8 servers for every 100 players. So the costs here have to be very high. And what I think is happening is we're going to throw whatever we can at it now to say we got 4.0 out the window and have it feel decent for these people to play over the holidays. And then we'll have to come back to the drawing board and make this cost effective, because there's no shot that this is cost effective. 8 servers running at the same time for, averaging, what was that, 40 players per server. Over the holidays, there's going to be thousands of people playing. Tens of thousands, probably. Let's be honest here. If what they say is true about 318's launch and stuff like that. So yeah. Costs matter in these situations because we see that the amount of money they're making isn't as much this year, and so on and so forth. So
is important to note. Looks like they are now. The way that the tests have gone, 500 does look like the target for release as well, because they've just done multiple tests at 500. I don't see them this late in December going for higher now.
Correct.
Unless the tests this weekend were crazy good.
They were not. There were still a lot of issues.
They feel good. So, so I think we'll be at 500 people, which is awesome. That's a 5 times increase with only essentially a doubling of the play space. So the game should feel alive enough over Christmas. So I'm keen for it. I also did like that one of the DGS, like on both sides, and this seemed to solve a lot of problems that we've been having with jump points. On both sides, space and the jump point are their own server. But I had like no problems with jump points over the last 2 days.
Cool.
Which was
maybe that's why they did it. Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, I didn't even try to figure out what the configuration was, and I never saw them actually mention it. So
they mentioned it in like Stanton. It was basically like in Stanton it was like basically 1 per planet, except for like I think R-Corp and Crusader might have been together.
Okay.
And then Space plus Jump Point. And then Pyro was like Pyro 1 and 2, Pyro 3, Pyro 4 and 5, whatever. Like they kind of split them up by the planets, and then plus Space and Jump Point. So.
Cool. Now they just got to really nail down the desync, because contested zone content is getting spicy. It's getting really good, dude. People are like, there's PvP going on, and like people like the loot rooms. I'm going in there. There's actual loot in there. Really cool thing that I don't actually have footage for, and I'm thinking we can review. I missed this, and I already recorded it, so that's it. It's over. I missed that one. Is the attachments that you put on weapons show the stats that they have on them now. So it'll be like minus 10% recoil and things like that. And then there's juiced attachments that have like, it's not scorched. What I'll ask Twitch chat, because I can see them, and you could check YouTube. Is what are the names of the attachments that are at the tweaker? Yeah, tweaker, right? They say like tweaker on them. And they have better stats. What's the difference between a regular, let's say, like compensator and a tweaker? That's one thing I didn't get the opportunity to see. But a tweaker was like minus 10% recoil and minus 10% sway or something.
75% less recoil? Jeez.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. They're like really good. Some of them actually add damage. Yeah,
that's huge.
Damage,
those are meaningful differences, which is great.
Exactly. So you're like, they're creating the I want to go to the contested zone feel. And then people go there and they're like, I don't want to be here because this is insane. Or I do want to be here because this is insane. And then the people who find that they really like it will be there. Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I am still yet to be in a good experience with contested zones. Mostly that's because I was just crazy busy this week. But that's all I want to do this coming week is just spam contested zones. I've been seeing everyone post themselves pictures of themselves with the full armor sets and whatnot. Yeah, looking quite spicy. So
yeah, it was awesome.
It's going to be some cool content. Yeah,
it's desynced to hell. Like you kill somebody, you literally watch them die, and then you watch their gun kill you. It's like, what did that just happen? And yeah, so it's like an absolute disaster, but it's a fun disaster. Yeah. And the other thing is like you don't lose your gear if you backspace before people loot you. So you just quickly backspace, you get your gear back because there's a bug with the station, so that you can't lose anything really. So you just like, I'm gonna put my stuff back on and I'm gonna go again, and it's just like, you know, it's just like a like they said in the ISC a while ago, it is a it is a meat grinder. For sure.
Yeah.
So that's all the 4.0 stuff. Ready to get into the
meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
So last podcast, I said, Mike, we haven't had a SCL Q&A on crafting yet, have we?
Nope.
And we hadn't. And then 2 days later, they said, hey guys, this is happening this week. So there it is. It is our crafting and base building Q&A. Probably my most anticipated Q&A, I think, unless they do a specific 1.0 one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of questions answered. Lots of questions I wanted answered. Still one big question not answered, which I'll mention is basically what we were talking about in our podcast with Cutlet, which is just like everything in regards to like insurance and warranty with this system. Am I camera crash?
No.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Back. Oh.
Now it's gone.
Yeah, now I'm back.
Now you're gone again. Okay. We're good now, I think.
Anyway, but yeah, lots of good questions answered. I feel like every single one was, unlike normally where like a lot of these SCLs, they're going over stuff that has already been talked about like 20 times. People just don't know where to find the info. This felt good. Yeah.
It's a lot of like reiterating some things from that might have been a little bit confusing from SitCon. They actually confused me. Like I thought that they were, and this guy DM'd me and was like, hey, you got this thing entirely wrong. And I don't even think he was like trying to help me necessarily. I think it was just you just put out a bunch of really wrong information to a lot of people. So can you not do that? I thought it was the way they had spoke, they called something aspects. So you got your like blueprint, and then all the the possible items that you can place material in to change or
Yep.
make go up are aspects. And I thought that they were saying that you find blueprints that have like bonuses to certain aspects. So you're going to, if you want a Gladius that's really fast, you're looking for the blueprint that has the best bonuses to that. And he was like, no, that's not how it works. It is every Gladius blueprint has the same aspects that you can place stuff into.
Yeah.
And then you can go whatever range you want. Well, not what you want based on the material quality that you have. The best material quality will go to the highest range, and then the lowest will go to the lowest.
Basically, the blueprints themselves are identical, but they involve like you being able to alter the aspects with the different quality materials and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's that was cool. The things that stuck out to me were mining. Red Monster got a little shout out, somebody who we rate after the podcast a lot. And in a good way, somebody in Twitch chat's asking, is RNG involved? I think that this is the thing that Declan was trying to make clear to me. The only RNG that is there is your ability to find the best quality material. So if copper makes fire rate go up, your RNG the RNG aspect of this is, do you have good quality copper? If you don't, then it's not going to go up as much. So it's just your ability to find the good stuff. Mining wise, if you guys are not familiar with Red Monster, he posts, obviously he streams on Twitch, makes YouTube videos, stuff like that. But what he's really done amazingly for the community is that he's posted all the stats of like where certain minables are, all the stats for the lasers and all those things, right? And we don't need to know. And I actually had a DM with him, and I think you saw it as well. Is he shot a message to me and was like, all of the pyro, like everything in 4.0, there is no longer stats that I can pull. They're gone, and it's because they're all server side,
undata mineable, basically. Yeah,
correct. But they don't need to be data mineable anymore if this is what they're doing. So they're basically saying, first off, first and most important thing is if I'm looking for copper and this is a copper rock, it only has copper in it. If this is a Quantanium rock, it only has Quantanium in it. And the previous way that the mining kind of worked is I was looking for a Quantanium rock with like titanium in it because it would give me more it was like this weird system that you had to kind of figure out, and it was just dumb and it was confusing and it was stupid and it should have never been this way. And now they're just going, if you come across a Quantanium rock, you get quantum. You know, like that's it.
A lot simpler on that side, but there's a lot of depth also being added into these systems at the same time that they were talking about. So first off, we're getting a lot more materials. They mentioned there will be a lot more minables, including some new minables as they are separating ground vehicle mining from the other two. So it's going to be, you have your cave mining or like your on foot mining by itself. You have your ground mining by itself. You have your ship mining by itself. And so more materials spread out across the three sort of tiers of mining, as well as within those tiers too. So
so and again, in case you're not understanding like how big of a deal that is, if I'm going to build a ship, let's say it's a mining ship, I love my mole. I fly my mole every day. I fly it solo. I'm breaking all the rocks with it solo. I cannot craft, or I should not be able to. I'm assuming that's why they're doing it this way. I cannot craft my mole without doing the other aspects of mining. Like the idea of I can specialize and get really good at something is cool, but I can't build without bringing in other aspects of the game that maybe I don't necessarily enjoy. I might have to buy them in from other people. I might have to, broaden my horizons and try something else and things like that. Or work together in an org with people who do like to do those things. It just opens the door a little bit more, and every MMO does this, and it's good. It's a good thing, right?
Yep.
What else? Biomes?
Biomes. So they want to make some materials biome specific, using all of their new systems that they showed during the like the first panel at CitizenCon.
Yeah, I got a little something on that I'm curious what you think about. Let me go here, and then go here, and then go here. This isn't Star Citizen.
What?
But this is what we could have, right?
Theoretically, yeah.
Like in a way, they did this really, really well. Is here's all the resources on this planet, and then you could just have something on your star map. Yeah, you could just have something on your star map that says, these materials are in these biomes, and this is where these biomes are. They could take the star map to the next level, and you could actually kind of see the biomes by looking at the star map. So this game is not the best game in the world, but I do think that they did this very well, and CIG, take notes.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be a big the big thing about them being biome dependent or more biome dependent.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say necessarily that they would be exclusive, but they did sort of imply like an abundance in like certain biomes, right?
Yeah.
That's going to matter a lot more, I think, for base building. So it's going to be, all right, cool. The woods biome or whatever in this Terran planet, if that's got extra amounts of carbon, which it probably would, then yeah, people are going to set up shop there, and you're going to know to go to that biome if you want to, do trading there, or if you want to, do it yourself, right?
They said something even crazier, like that it would go even more granular, that certain materials might spawn more often at a river. So like knowing the topography of a planet maybe even is helpful, which is kind of ridiculous. So the depth is there. It's and now you're spending way less time scanning and more time mining, which I think every miner appreciates.
Yes.
So yeah.
That has been a problem since at least day one when I started mining. It's always just been all right, you're flying for 90% of the time, and then you're actually mining for 10%.
Exactly. It's stupid. So that's that.
One of the big things.
Oh, go ahead. Unless there's
so
more
many big things.
Yeah.
There's so many big things. So they want to do some more stuff with salvage. The big one is construction materials. Right? Yeah.
They're doing Eve.
The other ones. Well, you've got RMC, and then you've got construction materials. So yeah, they're doing Eve.
Eve.
So when you do your munching, and I will never not call it munching. When you do your munching, now you will actually get like parts of the ship, or like resources that are actually used to like make that ship, or whatever the thing is that you're munching, right?
Yep.
So I imagine this will be some just straight up resources, right? Like just here, have some titanium, have some whatever. I'm hoping that this means there's like some new like commodities or components with like wiring.
Yep.
Or like, we've already got comp boards.
MFD screen.
Right?
In Eve, there's like triggers are a thing, and malfunctioning displays, and console, and like all that. It's awesome. Like a big ship might require like 10, 20 consoles or a bunch of MFD screens, right?
Yeah, so that'll be sick. I'm excited for that. You're expanding the gate. Like the actual gameplay of munching sounds like it's still going to be pretty much the same, but at least the rewards have a little bit more depth to them now, or will have a little bit more depth to them. And then obviously that gets once again all inputted into the crafting system.
Correct. And I see somebody in Twitch chat pointing out that there's like we have pointed them out before, like little wires and stuff that are in the contested zones. I'll see if I have footage for this. I
know they brought comp boards back, but comp boards have been in the game for years now.
Well, there's more than just comp boards now.
Yeah.
So there's like wires and there's other weird things. But another thing that's changed that I think is kind of interesting that I don't think anybody has really pointed out or seen is they changed the boxes. So the boxes are shaped the same.
Orange box.
But this is a toolbox. I wasn't able to open it, but it was a toolbox. There's a food box, and so there's an ammo box. There's a med box. So now it's way more distinct from one another of what you're going for. So a little more Tarkov-y, I would say. I'd like to eventually see, a unique box that is a toolbox or something. But for Star Citizen 4.0, just paint it yellow. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So my biggest one that I was like, okay, this changes a lot of things and gets me even more excited for crafting. Is the question came up of, hey, blueprints, will there be a limited run or I don't remember what the other thing was, but will there be limited run blueprints? And the answer was yes. There will be some limited run blueprints. Awesome.
Yep.
The things that you can do that are super, super cool. The implications that can have for the player economy is massive because you can make like the most, honestly, the most OP ship components and whatnot can be on those limited run blueprints. And then because they're limited run, presumably that also means those items will never have warranty. At least I'm hoping, really hoping they will never have warranty. And then, it's a churn machine. You're going to lose that component. Everyone wants to build it again. The economy keeps running. That's awesome. So I'm really, really happy they've got that idea in there. In addition, they also talked about trading blueprints. Some will be possible. So a lot of blueprints will just come straight to you through missions and reputation.
Yep.
But there are some blueprints, presumably the ones that you will loot, that'll be on data pads. Those data pads can, of course, they could be traded right now, theoretically, if they existed, but they will be tradable. Awesome, once again, because it means if you are just a 100% dedicated crafter, then you can just buy those blueprints off a player market. So
exactly.
Huge fan of
that. What we still don't know is is there any value in having 5 different Hornet blueprints? So I can, because he also said cooldown timers. So if I have,
that was the other one. Yeah, some with cooldowns.
Yeah, so if a Hornet blueprint has a cooldown of 20 hours, well, maybe I have 5 of them and I'm just pumping out Hornets all day, right?
Just smashing them. Yep.
Yeah, and I just level all those up to 5 and get them looking the same or something like that. But so we'll see. They also mentioned they're using the word blueprint in a really confusing way, and I don't like their communication on this, and I hope they do change it a little bit. There are blueprints for repair. There are blueprints for refining.
Yeah.
Just call them jobs or something like that. I think I personally got a little bit confused by them saying that, and I'm sure other people are as well.
Sure, that makes sense. The way that I take it's not, once again, it's not, I don't feel like it's sort of jobs. The way that it's sort of been portrayed and the way that I've received it is when they say blueprints for refining.
Yeah,
you know how we have but you know how we have the 8 different methods of refining already. Yeah. Each one of those would be a blueprint that you would have. Right?
Okay.
And so you can't do Dynex solventation unless you've got the Dynex solventation blueprint.
Understood.
Repair blueprint is interesting because I just don't know how would that work. Is that you repair a certain amount of efficiency? That's probably it.
That's
right?
what they're going with, is because they want you to be able to get better at repairing. So that's kind of why they mentioned that, is you can improve, and now you can have a base that has a landing pad that has the best repair blueprints possible, and then you can use them and repair your ship there for a fee. I think that's kind of what they're going for there, is they're really kind of thinking of all these sandboxy aspects. This, if you're a PvPer, this episode may not have been for you. If you're exclusive PvPer, I talked to some people, they were like, oh, that episode didn't have anything in it. This was the sandbox episode. Right?
Exactly,
I know it's just around bases and crafting and things like that, but this is what is going to define what everyone does and how they do it and all that stuff.
This gives people their goals a lot of the time, right? You want to, if you are a PvPer, or even if you're a non-crafty PvEer, you're going to want to know all of these systems so that you can be the best version of your pilot when all of these things are tradable, right?
Yep, exactly. So very exciting there. So we covered mining, we covered salvage, we covered blueprints. Let's talk about base rating, and the most controversial topic, I would say, is You really, guys, listen to this clip 100 times. You know what? Watch Week in Review. It's going to be clipped out perfectly for you, and watch that 100 times. Thank you very much. The the um the idea of, first and foremost, there will not be one shard of Star Citizen probably
Yep.
ever, and if there is, it's not going to be for a very long time, because they are pointing out at certainly at 1.0, shards are going to be regional.
Yep.
And the best case scenario is you're going to have an NA East shard, a NA West shard, an NA Central shard, let's say, a
Yep.
EU East, Central, and West, and then like Asia, Australia. So like maybe you'll have like literally 10 different versions of Star Citizen.
Yeah.
If I'm in the US and Croncy is and playing on Australia servers, and we can place a base at the exact same location.
Yeah.
And you know what? The raw materials that are under that base may not be the same. Probably won't be the same. So
Yeah.
that is a very, very key thing to point out here is there will not be one version of Star Citizen. Don't say wrong. Go watch the clip. I see you in Twitch chat. Go watch the clip again and tell me I'm wrong. So, because I've watched it 100 times, I know I'm not wrong here. No. So regions are going to matter, and then
also just
shards.
quickly, not necessarily one shard, because like they did say there's like cross shard, but like you can't like everything is region locked regardless.
Best case scenario is one shard per region at 1.0. That's what I'm saying. Best case scenario. That is not what's going to happen most likely. So that they might be wronging me for that one, and they're all typing wrong now, by the way. So thank you guys, you're the best.
They were always going to type wrong, Mike.
Of course, I should have known. So that's the best case scenario. The most likely scenario is less regions, but multiple shards. So maybe just NA, EU, Australia, and Asia, similar to what we have now, but lots of different shards for that. And if I place a base and we're both playing on Australia servers, even though we're on totally different shards, you will see my base, but if you might not be able to attack it depending on certain situations.
No, you won't be able to see my region base at all.
No, we're on the same region. No, I'm saying now we're on the same region.
If we're on the same region. Okay.
Yep, we're on the same region. So I'll be able to see your base, but I won't be able to attack it. You'll be able to see my base, but you won't be able to attack it if we are on two different shards. Yeah. So that, I think, is what people are getting a little worked up about, and rightfully so, I think. It's a solution to a problem.
Yep.
But is it the best solution to a problem? No. Is it one of the only ones that they can do? Yes. So it's like, what do you want them to do? You want to just be in your base watching it explode with no one around you? Like, that's not a good solution. So they got to figure something out here. So
they implied that it wouldn't be necessarily difficult to make sure you're on the shard of like wherever you do want to raid.
Yeah.
The big takeaway here is, and I have like heard some people a little bit mad about this, is like, yeah, of course we are not getting the whole world as one region.
Duh.
Speed of light limit exists. Like it is a physics impossibility for it to be a decent experience.
Eve does it, but then we see what Eve has to do.
Eve does it because it's basically a board game in the way that it's designed, right? Like it is designed
Albion
in like
turns. And then Albion did it, I should say.
Yeah.
Now Albion has NA and EU servers. I wonder why.
But yeah, like I don't want to be in a situation where, like, you know, if when I want to play really like proper, I hop over to Mike's server and I've got 300 ping. That is just it's never going to be good, right?
Yep.
So it kind of sucks, but they had to draw the line in the sand at some point and make this a thing. Base building seems like the good way to do it. And to start it off and make it a bit more region locked. My one request is I really hope we're still able to play with other people in other regions if we want to. But there may be issues there too. Like if so let's look in this world where this 1.0 is released. We've got these region locked servers basically. The Australian servers are going to be a lot less populated than like a US East would, right? That means the like presumably, depending on how they balance it, the like higher resource locations are probably going to be taken up by less people, meaning they've got more money per person. If there is a way for them to then go to that US West and be like, hey guys, I sell all these items, that could be a problem economy wise. So I actually think they may lock us out of region, which would suck. Or at the very least,
You create a new character per region.
Yeah, character per region.
Yeah.
So yeah, it had to happen eventually. I think this is an okay way to do it. As long as we can, if we do need to raid a base that's not in our shard, it is not hard to do that.
Yeah. I can't watch the clip. The guy who said I'm wrong is like trying to prove me wrong. Yeah, I'm not wrong, so I don't know. I can't watch it now on the show because Croncy couldn't hear it, and but maybe I'll watch it later. Anything else that is really sticking out to me? I might have to bring up my list of things here. Buy and sell orders.
Yes.
Eve
again.
again.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that. Huge.
Also, I minimized you. Sorry. To read my notes. Buy and sell orders. They're doing Eve again. Let's go. We can, dude. I even asked. We can maybe make Jita, but not Jita.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen.
We can make Tranquility.
It happens in every game. Yeah.
Let's go. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's gonna be sick. So for those who don't know, buy and sell orders literally like, hey everyone, I need titanium and I need a crazy amount of it.
Hi,
here it is on the Moby Glass. Titanium deliver to me. You get paid this much.
Yeah. I open my Moby Glass. I have titanium, and I go, "Who wants to buy it?" Oh, Croncy, he's not paying enough. Oh, here, I'll just read some of the names from chat. Time Rover. Oh, he's paying really good, but Time Rover's really far away, and he's in Pyro. I'm not going over there. Daryl. He's at Crusader, or no, Crusader's a bad option. He's at Daymar, but he's buying it for a good price. I'm going to go there. Now, the one thing that we put out in the world, I think both of us put that out there in the world when they first did CitizenCon. Jake, community manager Jake, was in my channel when I said it, and he was like, I like that idea. I'm going to mention that. They never mentioned it. I don't know what happened. I will shoot a note to Declan, because he said, hey, if you have any more questions, just feel free to ask. And I was like, I won't bother you. Trust me, just ask the other devs. I don't bother them, but I am going to bother him for this one. Can I buy remotely? I want to be able to
that'll be
buy items from a place that's at certain, maybe in the same star system as me. Maybe I can't buy in Pyro when I'm in Stanton, but I would like to buy maybe even in the planetary region. Like if I'm around Crusader, I would like to be able to buy at Daymar if I see something, right? That's something I would like to do, and then go and pick it up. That's something I would like to do. Eve lets you do that with skills. So like you have to invest time and honestly effort and essentially money for that. But yeah, I don't know if that'll work in SC. They want to do things super physical, whatever.
Yeah.
I would like it, but I would be fine if it didn't happen. But it's just the fact that it would. Think about this scenario. This is the only reason I say it. Is I'm at Microtech and I want to buy something in ArcCorp, and I travel 20 minutes to get to this place, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, no, man. Let me buy it. I will travel the 20 minutes, and I will pick it up.
It does.
That's what I mean.
It does sound like they. Yeah, it does sound like they want to go that way. At the very least, in terms of the version of buy orders that they were talking about is included delivery, right? As in, like, you guys have to deliver it to me.
Yeah.
For the buy order. So
that's different. So if you're placing a buy order, I have to drop it off at you. But if I'm buying a sell order, I want to be able to buy it remotely. It stays in your freight elevator, and then I have to go pick it up. I just don't want to be like, oh, I have to race somebody to go get this thing. That is such a bad game experience.
I don't think that will happen.
I hope not.
It sounds like the way that the sell orders work is like the transaction literally just happens while you're in the Moby Glass, and now you own it just at their freight elevator. So I
Yeah.
don't think you'll be racing people for it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm raging at somebody in chat who thinks that I think that he's literally typing like I think that I should be able to buy from Daymar and have it magically appear in my freight elevator on Yella. Like, no, nobody's saying that, my man.
We're
Nobody's
literally
saying that.
talking about delivery.
Yeah, so I
But
just had
yeah,
to type. Please listen to the words Papega. So yeah.
So yeah, new mobiGlas app that's going to have all of that stuff in it. Awesome, huge. That is the beginning of player economy. That is the beginning of Mike selling his Polaris torpedoes. So yeah, that was a huge one. I can't believe I forgot that one.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. But I like it. 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 I am going to take a look. Why does this make you disappear? All right, I don't like that.
Are you putting something in front of like? Are you? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll just do this. Land claims. It clears up the land claim drama from the Polaris having them taken away. I mean, it doesn't clear things up entirely, but it does let us know a little bit more about what they want to do. You want to take this one, or you want me to? I don't care.
Yeah, basically they were just saying, you are skipping like a fee, similar to like if you were to skip like a claim fee or something like that, for your first land claim or whatever, however many land claims you have if you have dozens. You will still have to pay for your materials for your base. You'll still have to move it all there. I also the one thing that I guess they didn't really touch on is like I also imagine you'll still have to do the quest line that they talked about. Like this is more of a 1.0 question.
Yeah.
Where it's like that's when you gain citizenship. It sounds like you'll still have to do that. Yeah, you just don't have to pay for your initial fee. You're still paying taxes, all that stuff.
All sorts of different land claim types as well. So like hey, I found this good resource over here. I'm gonna grab just a small prospector one and yeah, that's it. And or I want a big one because I want to build a big, refinery, huge thing here. I could do that as well, and the costs will go up. Yeah. All right, we finally got the chatter to understand us. It only took 10 minutes. Yeah.
But yeah,
he made it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I like the idea of us having like prospector land claims as well. So they were sort of mentioning because they talked a lot about how if you do have like a mining land claim that is doing your ground mining, it's going to run out pretty quickly. Well, not necessarily pretty quickly. It's going to run out, I guess, in general. And so then it becomes useless, which sounded bad, but then they were like, these ones are pretty small. You'll be able to like essentially salvage your original base and then, you build it somewhere else at the next mining base location. Awesome. So yeah, cool. That's
got to move around.
Not
love
a
it.
bad system to have it.
Yeah, love it. You a lot of temporary bases that you got to pick up and put down, and you're moving around. You're going to different planets, and you're just figuring things out. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, also they mentioned like there will be exclusion zones. That would have been a little obvious for like obviously you can't have like in Lawville or like inside New Babbage or anything, but they said it like with a bit more of a sort of broad area. There will be some exclusion zones where you can't plant your bases. Sounds like mostly where they want you to be able to do missions and whatnot, which also fair. You don't want to have it feel like you don't want to go to what's the Reclaimer Rex? Ghost Hollow. You don't want to go to Ghost Hollow and then in like a 20-kilometer radius just see 30 bases around there. It'd be a bit weird. So yeah, sure, cool. As long as there is enough space, and with region locked, there probably will be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for SCL.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
We probably missed some stuff, but it was like actual decent information, good answered questions. And like none of the answers was I like, well, that's bad and I want them to change it. So
yeah. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm now the problem with the conversation that they had is I no longer want to mine. I no longer want to play the current Star Citizen. I want to play the one that they're talking about. And the one that they're talking about is first off, it's probably not going to happen. Second off, like, I mean, probably not going to happen as in something's going to change significantly, I'm sure, with what they talked about. And it's probably really far away. So
Yep.
That's the depressing part. I want to play the game that they're talking about. I don't want to play the game that I'm currently playing right now. I kind of do. Like, again, we talked about how exciting contested zones are and things like that, but
Yep.
I definitely want to start playing that at like a lot of the aspects that they talked about in this episode. Because the mining change is awesome.
Yep.
And just, yeah, they also talked about, I don't know if we touched on it, was using your base or building your base up to like really good status, I guess would be the best way to, or it's definitely not the best way to say it, but like the best crafting base or something, the best refining base, and then people can use your base. I mean, we kind of touched on it with the selling.
Yeah, using your base as a service.
Yep, and then you charge them, and what you charge them, we'll see.
Passive income. It's what all those terrible TikTok influencers have been saying for years, guys.
But it's also what makes big orgs and big alliances strong and powerful and big, and that's what people start fighting over, right? So we'll see how that stuff goes. It just really comes down to I just, we got to see how they implement this stuff in Pyro.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yep.
That's all I got. It's been about an hour, so we could probably go to callers unless there is something that sticks out to you in mind.
Let's just go to one question. We did grab some questions.
I have one other thing I want to show too.
I've been hearing people in our YouTube chat say, "When are you guys bringing back the questions for the show?" So, you guys asked some good questions this week, so we've got some. From Punji Stick, with 4.0 going to Wave 2 and the implied deadline of a 4.0 live release before the end of the year, do you feel that meshing and systems integration is stable enough for that to be tolerable, or does it need more time in the oven for that? Or are we at the 318 point and there's nothing more that can reasonably be done for it in a PTU environment?
No, there's definitely more they can do to it, and it needs time to cook. We all know what the thing they need to do is. It's the transit refactor. The fact that it's not included in this is a clown show, and it's a joke, and it's really embarrassing that this is what they're doing. Everybody can see right through them, and it's just stupid. This is the way they're going about it.
That is by far the biggest problem with the patch at the moment.
Yep.
In addition, we are 2 weeks away from Christmas break, basically. 2 weeks away. So we just got to Wave 2 today. They can probably push it a little bit further in terms of waves, because we just had a massive Wave 1, the biggest that we've probably ever had. And it does feel like most of the issues are regular old bugs now, game breaking ones, but regular old bugs rather than necessarily like server performance issues, feels. So
yeah, like they got to fix some things. Like, dude, contested zones are like one of the most unique, special bits of content you've ever made. Doors aren't opening properly. The desync is insane, and if I die in a contested zone, I keep all my stuff, when the whole point of PvPing would be you go and get the keys, I kill you, I loot you. So like I can't even do that. So, we're talking about like this breaks the whole purpose of the experience altogether. So for the person who's saying like, does this need more time to cook? Yes. If they release this in 2 weeks and we don't see like a huge change. And it's possible that we could. If we don't see a huge change, then this is dead on arrival, just like 318 was. And the best part about this is there were issues with 318. What made 318 so bad was an unforeseen issue. All the issues are right in front of their faces, and they are ignoring them for a short-term funding gain is what it looks like. I know I'm putting words in their mouth, but it is very hard for me to see it any other way.
Sure. I think it's going to be like the whole thing of like, are we at the 318 point where there's nothing more to do? There's definitely more to do.
Yeah.
The interesting thing with the end of 318 is the PTU was chill for the most part. Things were working. And then we just had so many people join on release on day one, and just the network couldn't handle it, and the systems couldn't handle it. I like to think with all the testing that they've been doing with particular servers, we might be in a better spot there, as well as what they would have learned from 3.18 with just like login queues and stuff. Got improved over the course of the last 2 years. The concern would be like honestly how many people are going to play 4.0. That's actually my concern. How
A
much
ton.
overloaded is this going to be for the
Yeah, a
first few
ton.
days?
You get to jump through a
Exactly.
jump point. Somebody shows a jump point. It goes on a YouTube short. Forget about
Yeah.
and goes viral. That's what they want here. They want something to go viral and then have the same experience that
Yeah.
they had last time, last year with CitizenCon. CitizenCon sucked this year from that standpoint. There was nothing that was gonna. No, I'm sorry, they were all PowerPoints, right? So it was like really cool for us, but I don't think it was cool for the like wider gaming community. And Squadron 42 is a single player game. It's not going to bring people over to Star Citizen that much. But the way the jump points look with the music and like, you guys see this game? Have you like people have never heard of this? They're gonna be like, whoa, I'm interested. And they're gonna come out of nowhere, and then they're gonna come in, they're gonna press Y to get up out of their bed, and then they're not gonna be able to do anything else because these clowns put it out too early. Yeah. So hopefully they get those fixes. I don't want to call them clowns yet, but if they do it that way, it's a clown fiesta. It is a literal circus at that place. If that's what they do, and they're going to get every bit of hate they get, they're going to deserve it. And there's no defending you anymore. But members of this wonderful community will find a way to, I'm sure.
It's also like, it's one of those things where it's like let's say they were like, all right, we have to delay. You're then waiting till at least February for a release.
Good. Who cares?
And I know, but that's so brutal from a like current player perspective, from a returning player perspective.
Who cares about us? Like, this is like in this situation, but I'm being serious. In this specific situation, I would never say this about a 4.1, a 4.2, a 325. I would never say this about that. I only am saying it about 4.0. This is a very special moment. It has to be a little bit better on the standards of what you're willing to push than that. What I was really hoping they did was 325, server meshing in a single star system, no pyro, no jump point, get that stable, get your transit refactors done, do all that stuff, and then go to pyro. But they didn't. And here we are. So now you're left with this decision of, do I take the short-term monetary gain of some, a few people buying starter packages and then hating the game and refunding, or are you going to take the long-term gain, and that is, I deliver a really good 4.0 and then hopefully have people hooked on this experience for the rest of their lives, right? Like that's kind of the decision making that they're going through here. And right now, they're royally fucking this up, but we'll see. Again, there's 2 weeks left. There is opportunity for this stuff to really ramp up and improve, and they look like they're trying. It could happen, but it's not looking good at this point, and we'll see what happens. I still am remaining somewhat optimistic.
This doesn't feel 2 weeks away right now.
No, it feels like 2 months away. So I don't know what they're going to do, but if they put it out, it is a clown fiesta, and it's
just delete the bugs. Easy. Come on, guys.
Exactly. But one more question.
We can do the other question because it's also in relation to stuff. So from 5 Stripe Gunner. As with every feature in this game, the devs talk about the completed state, but typically the implementation we get first is just a taste. Apart from the Vulture crafting multi-tools, what is the next piece of crafting that makes it into the game, and when do you think it arrives? 4.x, 1.x, and I guess anywhere in between.
I want to see crafting mining modules and gadgets.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to start off with, right?
Yeah, small stuff.
Because it's small stuff, known quantity. They talked about communal crafting stations, so you could just chuck those in the refinery stations and just like have them there. I reckon we could see that. I do think it would be a pretty much everything in crafting should theoretically be a 4.x and not a 1.x, with maybe the exception of like some advanced crafting stuff if they do it later. I don't think we'll see it in the first 6 months next year. I think we're looking at maybe end of next year. We might see the first implementation of a more advanced crafting system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Easy.
All right.
And then
Yeah.
everyone in chat, you let us know where you think we'll first see crafting as it's starting to get described to us.
Yeah. Hold on.
Easy.
More people are saying that I'm DMing them, so this is like an actual problem. So,
Guys, Mike would never DM you.
No, I don't
He's
like
never
any of
even
you.
DM'd me, I swear.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so all right, I'm ready for questions if you are, or ready for callers. Excuse me, if you are. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's bring some people in.
All right, let's bring in Warbot Nix. Warbot, are you there? Can you hear us?
You are muted.
Warbot.
What?
Warbot going once.
You unmuted yourself, but we can't hear.
All right. It's a start. Warbot going twice. I'm putting him back in the waiting room.
All right.
Clever Bard.
Clever Bard. How you doing?
Hello.
Is my mic working?
Your mic is working.
Yay. So I have notes that I've been taking as you guys have been talking, or I have my question. What do we want to do first?
Whatever you want.
Do your question, because it was a good question that I saw in the questions.
So Mike, I was worried about you because you seem concerned. So I asked, do you think the Pioneer or Ironclad Assault with repair and crafting built in will begin the game with blueprints preloaded, or will we need to earn or find all the blueprints beforehand? And my 2 cents is day one, nobody's going to have any blueprints for building any buildings, or none of the refineries or anything like that are going to come with preloaded ways to turn iron ore into iron ingots. And everybody's going to kind of start at the same place.
I hope so. I mean, the whole idea is that, Rich Tyrer doesn't like pay to win and this and that. And it does seem like some of the directions that they're going down are trying to mitigate it as much as possible. So I certainly hope so. Obviously, we'll have the blueprints from whatever subscriber armors that we have that will have unique, certain unique things. But that isn't really what you're referencing, right? So
no. Well, I do have a concern there. I made a Spectrum post and everybody's like, oh, well, if they are crafting blueprints you bought on the store, you're going to still have to go mine and refine and to get there. But I hope, and they did not mention this, I hope there is a skin blueprint that just is cosmetic, purely cosmetic.
Yep.
And that will make them all the money in the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because it creates its own game loop, right? Like you don't just
exactly
apply your skin like a Fortnite skin. You go out, you mine, refine, and invest in the economy to apply the money you paid for in real life.
Yeah.
So,
with the like you mentioned, like the Pioneer and the Ironclad, like would you have any base blueprints? I do think, probably Pioneer, Starlink to max, not Starlink to max, Starlink to build. Galaxy maybe and all of the like base building vehicles regardless, and probably even if you buy them in game, will probably come with like a single blueprint when you buy them, which would be like house. Here is house. Right?
Something minimal. Meaning
you don't even
get to power your house.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's no generator.
Something that would also be like even if you when you buy a land claim, you just also unlock those blueprints, right? The very, very basic ones, just so you actually have something to do, because otherwise it would be weird to be like, it would be weird to unlock those in different parts. Where it's like, well, I've unlocked the land claim, I can't build anything there yet, so now I have to go do this to unlock the house, right?
Well,
I expect we'll get those, but nothing advanced.
Do you think you'll be able to buy blueprints in stores like you buy guns or you buy anything else? Like
very possibly. They seem open to it. Yeah.
It just would be the lowest level ones, and not anything that, like, maybe similar to what they're doing today, where it would be civilian type weapons, but maybe not sniper rifles or military, LMGs or things like that as well, for just like FPS weapons, or maybe not your really good, nuclear bombs or anything like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just wanted to get that into the universe so that maybe a dev hears it, and
There's a few
but
here.
I don't want to take up too much time.
No
I would
worries.
I'll touch on the reason I actually wanted your question is I just want to touch on the 2 cents that you had, the idea that you had of like day one, no one building a base. I don't
Right.
think anyone will build a base on day one. The implication that they've talked about is that, yeah, you will still have to gain citizenship through in-game gameplay before you're allowed to place that land claim. So it'll
In
still
certain
be
places, it seems like.
however long.
If you go to Pyro, there's no initial cost. You can just claim
That's true.
anywhere.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
so
also dangerous. There's no.
it's also dangerous, but
The initial
base
cost
Yeah, let
is
him build the
C1
bases then.
basically.
yeah, as you would have to defend it.
But there
and
still could be limitations that they place on it for the very
Totally.
start, and I wouldn't be surprised.
And
Yeah.
they're going to learn that as we go through 4.x and
It's
X.
not going to be a tier 5 base on day one, that's for sure, right?
That's
So,
for sure.
True.
So I think
Yep.
the pay to win element is being handled really, really well by the communication we're getting.
so far.
Some
Yep.
things that I think people just notes just to before I close out. People the refining. There's a couple slides from CitizenCon where refining was like mentioned, and turning iron into steel, for example, requires what is it, carbon?
Yeah, iron
and
carbon.
and a catalyst, I think it's called. And
Yep.
I don't know if it was you, Mike, or if it was Pirate Software, but I was listening to somebody talk about how new players should be considered the heroes of the economy by gathering resources that are super abundant, not very profitable, but keep the economy moving and keep the highest level stuff, like all of the highest level tier 5 stuff should be linked to the newest players. And that's the other thing I wanted to put out in the universe.
When you say linked to the newest players, as in like just they can also get those materials, is that what you're saying?
You can't build a tier 5 thing without iron being some kind of
Sure.
basic element to the composite of
Yeah.
what the most complicated thing is.
I don't know what Pirate Software said, but I might have talked about Eve and how I'm able to play Eve just starting today, 20 years in, and find a little niche that I can carve out for myself because people still need the tier 1 salvage that I like to do, which is the most basic low-end stuff. And no, I am not making 1 billion credits a day like other people are, but I'm making 50 million or 100 million a day now, and I was making 1 million a day when I first started. So like you slowly go up and you feel that feeling of progression and improvement and all that stuff. So I put up the slide that you were talking about just in case people aren't familiar with what we saw.
Fast. Your hands are so fast. So,
well, only with this stuff because I know exactly where it was.
Right. I just wanted to get through, let other people talk, but really quick notes. Dynamic server meshing could be used that as you approach a base, you could dynamically change shards possibly to the player-based shard, so you don't have to like switch. In some MMOs, you have to like flag for PvP in some cases. So if you flag for PvP versus not, you might be able to run around and always be approaching that shard that they're on. Region separation, I've heard it said seems to help with security and economy. I think Croncy
Wait, hold
touched
on
on the economy, but nobody talks about security.
Can we like? Did you just say PvP flagging in a game like Star Citizen? And I just
for reference, I think the thing that he's trying to say is not necessarily PvP flagging, but like I always, anytime I'm near someone's base, I always want the ability to get to them, so it would switch my shard.
Right. So, like you say, hey server, not hey community, but hey server.
Yeah.
I'm looking to damage a base today. I want to do some raiding, and you flag the server, and the server knows. Okay, I'm going to send him to wherever this.
Okay. What if you are? Hey, I want to not be damaged, and then other players will want to have the opposite. So
don't give that to the players. No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. This is not a PvP flagging system. This is just trying to say. This is just trying to say I want to be able to say that I am probably going to be doing raiding. So instead of forcing me to do like some menu thing for me to switch shard or whatever, the game just knows I want to switch shard.
You are never safe in Pyro unless you won the shields for that week.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be.
As a base owner. Yeah,
Yep.
That's true. So then So the security, though, of region separation, I think, is something that nobody really talks about. And I don't hear a lot of the security conversation happening around Star Citizen in general. I don't hear about a lot of cheaters. Cheaters could be super problematic for the game.
Mhm.
And region separations really helps kind of lock certain cheaters down. So if you can only, I'm not going to say specific countries, but if you can only log
Sorry,
into
sorry,
that
Croncy.
specific, you know,
You're
piece,
screwed.
yeah. I was going to say South America somewhere, but if you can keep all the cheaters in one region, that seems to help. Um, and then you mentioned, Mac, the star map biome. It would be really cool if you could like see a planet. I would only like that if it's part of the exploration gameplay loop, where like in Kerbal Space Program, you have to like orbit a planet and you have to
Nah,
survey.
no,
Yeah, okay, all right.
nope. I like
Sell
why
pieces
why
of
are
information.
no, I know, I get it, but why are we making it difficult for a new player? Like a new player just goes, I'm looking for carbon. I and the game goes, carbon spawns in these regions. And then you just
Oh
go and
no,
Or
look.
like
it
in a
does.
very messy, blurry way, and they still have
Yeah,
to do the game.
The,
exactly.
the
That's when the radar
Okay, okay.
scanning comes into play. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say they have essentially said that scanning will be a part of scanning planets
Yeah.
because you need to know where you're going to put your mining bases because you need more info than just biome. You need the exact
Yeah.
location you need to place it.
Yeah.
All right. That's what
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
worried about. And I think the last note that I have, well, two notes.
Make them quick because
What?
you're going to be
Yep.
the longest call by far today.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
What's broken about the Aurora? I think will turn people off to the game starting in even without the transit refactor. They've got to get their basic ships in, and then the missiles are going to be a way to test the economy.
Oh,
So
for
I
sure.
think it's
Yeah.
the first test for the economy, and so
Oh
they
yeah.
had to separate them out.
People
Yeah.
are
Anyway,
not
that's
happy
me.
right now. We'll see.
Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it.
Of
All
course.
you guys do.
All
Yeah.
right.
Cheers for the
Clever.
call.
Thank you for the
Appreciate it,
call. It
man.
was great. I
Cheers.
wish again, I wish we could have more time. But that's why I was like, ooh, his call's
Nope.
going long.
Nope. Yep. I realized that
Later,
long
man.
time.
All
All right.
good.
Bye.
Catch you, man.
Bye-bye. All right, Warbot left and came back, so I got him, but I'm
Yep.
currently
Let's
dragging the waiting room and not the person. Warbot.
Wobotniks. Hello.
No, Warbot.
Do you have the wrong input on Discord?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to come back to you again, Wobotniks. We'll get the
Yeah.
next caller
Just
in.
leave him in waiting room 1, whoever's moving the
Yeah.
people around, mods. Next caller is Corrupt. Corrupt.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Corrupt's
how
got
are
it
you?
figured out.
Mike, you look so much better without with the chin hair. You looked ugly with just the mustache.
Whoa, whoa.
He
Where's
looked
your
ugly.
picture?
Wow.
Where's your picture?
No,
Savage.
I haven't shaved my beard, oh God, in almost 15 years.
All right.
Sorry, I'm just writing corrupt. Thinks Mike
Thanks,
is
Mike
ugly.
is ugly. Yeah.
Yeah.
just the mustache when he shaves the beard.
All
All
right,
right,
well,
I'll try and make
you
this
and my wife
short.
are in agreement, but everyone else loved it.
All right, so I'll try and keep this short. Mike, you had a conversation, I think it was on a React video, about the crafting tables and the supplies that you could connect to it compared to selling stolen goods, and
Yes.
how you thought it was unfair that somebody could see that those items were stolen. I think that has a lot to do with the cargo containers themselves having identifiers on them. When you connect it to your crafting table is not going to see that. Obviously, if you take it over to GrimHex and try and sell it, somebody is going to be able to see that it was stolen unless you've hacked that identifier.
I'm more along, just to be clear, I'm more along the line of if I buy a commodity in the game and you decide to pirate it, you should just be able to use it any way you like. And I've lost it already. Like, why do I care if you have to go to a fence to sell it or anything like that at that point? I'd rather you just be able to craft with it, be able to sell it. You won the engagement, you get to profit. That's just my thought process there. So if I decide to craft it into something, that's my prerogative. If I decide to sell it on the open market, that's also my prerogative. So the way um, it's working is just kind of fractured, I guess would be the best word for it, is like there's one set of rules for if I went to go sell something, and there's another set of rules if I was going to use those items and craft the item with it. Obviously, I'm not using the box that the things are located in to craft the item, but I am, yeah, I don't know. It's just it opens. My issue is it opens up so many problems for people who are trying to play legitimately to solve a problem that less than 1% of the players are doing, which is piracy, right? Like there, like a certain amount of people are PvPing, and then even less of them are doing proper piracy. Why are we creating this rule and limiting things because of like 5 people, right? It's frustrating when the more open idea, I think, is just more enjoyable and more fun overall for everyone, and that was my argument.
What about when you're doing hauling missions and
Those
some
don't.
of that cargo gets identified as stolen?
That's, I think, a little bit maybe different, but also no. Like I just think those people should be able to, like, it has nothing to do with you if you lose the haul. You lost the haul, you lose the rep. They gain the whatever you have. They can do whatever they want with it. Again, a game like Eve, whatever you loot is yours. There's no like ownership to these things. So,
Okay,
right?
I can see your point.
Yeah. It just
Then that covers.
it's just if you just keep it simple, it's a lot easier to make the game then. And the game is still fun. Like the adding this extra layer on with all these laws doesn't make the game fun. It makes it convoluted, annoying, frustrating at times, and frustrating as a player who is not breaking the law because you have laws. There you go.
Okay, that makes sense. I know that you didn't have a lot of time to react to that.
Yeah.
In that video, and that's where I pulled that question from.
Yeah, you're all good.
Okay, well, I had another one about the Redeemer, but you guys said that you were running short on time, so I will
go for it if you could be quick. Yeah, go for it if you could be quick.
I think the Redeemer needs a Mark II version. Reason
boy.
for that is
Spicy.
it was created back in 2014 by the rule of cool.
Yep.
And Anvil did not have a style guide. So
well, the Redeemer was made by players, right?
Yeah, the next great starship.
Yeah.
So I think if you do it with a Mark II and then finally pick a side, whether it's a dropship or a gunship.
Yeah, it doesn't really know what it is.
Allow people to upgrade to it or understand that that particular ship will never find a balanced place because it's trying to do 2 things at once, much like the Cuddy Black.
Well, the whole thing about the Cuddy Black is it's a jack of all trades, master of none.
And also a player favorite. So like the Cuddy Black's in a good spot just because people like it, right?
And I would say the same for the Redeemer, just on between a gunship and a dropship.
Yeah.
I mean, at least at the moment, there's not really any roles for dropships at all, right? It's like even the Valkyrie isn't really a dropship. It's a bad gunship. But I don't think that's. All right, first off, we don't need a Mark II. Less Mark IIs always, but that is the spiciest take of all time. I love your take. I think they can still balance it just fine. They don't need to completely redo it. Everything that like those ships need to be viable and fun are already part of them, and the Redeemer is also like fresh enough that it doesn't really need a Mark II. Like it only really came out almost 2 years ago now, I think, right?
Yeah.
It came out like IAE 2 years ago.
They just need to dial things in, right?
Yeah. I don't think it needs much of a rework or anything. I think you can do literal just stuff to its stats right now to make it fine. Okay.
Like add back
Yeah.
the size 5 guns. All right.
Yeah.
Corrupt.
That's me.
thank-
Size 7.
Y'all have a great day. I'm
You
going to
too,
listen to
Corrupt.
the next caller.
All right. Be good.
Yeah, cheers, Corrupt. Appreciate it.
All right. Warbot gets one more attempt. He is on an alt now.
All right.
Warbot, last try. I
Okay.
hear something.
Hey, it worked.
So I was getting RTC connecting errors.
All
Yeah.
good.
Love it.
All good.
All right, I was getting RTC connection errors.
All right.
Not too sure. So
Can you properly hear us now, or are you hearing us through the stream?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. What do you want to
All
talk about?
Actually, the other two answered majority of my questions, so I only have two concerns. One is that with the buying and selling, so basically we are on a mobile glass app to reserve these products, these size 3 missiles from the shop, and then just correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm forgetting because of all the chaos. Is the buyer going to go pick it up, or is it the seller delivering them?
So there's the way they talked about it. There are two. I'm sure it'll expand. They talked about two certain things. So one was literally just a sell order. These items are located at my base. If you buy them, come pick them up. Right.
Yep.
Buy order. I am located at this location. I want to buy XYZ missiles. You deliver them to me. Those were the two full examples they gave. I imagine
we asked for a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. So we would also I want to buy from your location, or from a different location either. Maybe I'm planning on setting up base at Castra, right?
Yep.
I want to make a buy order at Castra while I'm sitting in Stanton.
Yep.
And then they deliver to Castra. So that would be the extra level.
Yeah, so the remote buying brings up one concern for me, and it doesn't affect me directly because I love crafting and I usually leave the selling to someone else, and that brings me to my friend who has the Merchantman and the Kraken Privateer.
Okay.
So I wonder if that's going to be a problem because if they do a remote buy, they have to come pick it up. Are you going to be able to do that to the BMM, or are we not too sure yet?
All right. So here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. All right, Croncy, what do you want to buy?
I'd love some size 9 torps.
All right. So I have 500 size 9 torps on my Banu Merchantman. You're going to buy them remotely. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So come and get them.
Okay.
All right. I quantum travel away, but I already have the money. Coming at all right, I'm gonna quantum travel over there. I don't know how. Yeah, maybe I see that being a little bit of an issue. Maybe you can't buy remotely on ships.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if they make buy and sell orders purely freight elevator based.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously that system would work. But I mean the advantage you would have as a Kraken Privateer or a BMM is because you are a traveling salesman. You can fulfill buy orders in a lot of different locations a lot faster.
Yep.
As well as you can still set up a market. It's just it would be a lot more.
You could set up wherever it's
physical, I
hot,
guess.
wherever it's busy.
Yeah. You go park out front of someone's someone's sell order and just cut them off 10% for every one of their things, right?
You can go also where people can't place bases.
Yes.
That is true.
That'll be a big deal, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did not think about that one.
I do think they will come up with a system to make it work, probably.
Yeah, Chad said cash on delivery.
If they don't,
stuff like that.
Yeah. If they don't, there's alternatives for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I noticed because when they say remote buy, I was like, then what's the point of visiting the BMM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to reserve it so nobody can take it from me. I decided I wanted that thing. I got to it first. I saw it first.
Yeah.
I want to be able to call dibs, basically.
Yeah.
But once I call dibs, I bought it. The money the money's gone. That kind of is what I want to happen. Because you can't buy dibs and not and hold it from somebody and then not take it, you know?
Also, what could be a relevant point with like that whole system is maybe you can do that exact buy order that we explained at the start, but they implement the rating system into this as well. The rating system that they want to bring in for all of the like, you know, medical
Everything.
professionals and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, hey, this Kraken wants to sell me stuff, but their last 5 delivery orders were unsuccessful. A bit
He's got a
sus
really
here.
good deal, though. It seems too good
Yeah.
to be true. Let's do it anyway. Oh, I
Yeah.
died.
Oh my
Hold
God,
on.
an
Let me
in-game
go
Yelp
on
system.
Spectrum. This game's a scam.
I mean,
Okay.
that's what it is. It is an in-game Yelp system.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, because the other thing I was thinking is just building off of Mike's earlier example of, you know, entering a planetary area and then you can start seeing like the local marketplace of that planet. One thing I was thinking of is adding a planetary like public beacon. So
hmm
you can go ahead and turn on your public beacon and say, hey, this is Croncy's race shop. Get your best engines.
Yeah.
Um,
That would be cool.
but yeah, so
And you're
you'll
selling
be
it right
open to the
outside
public.
of the Daymar Rally or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that was the only concern I had because I was like, okay, because the remote buying
reasonable.
I do, which works in MMOs like, you know, like classic MMOs, but for this sort of like what they're going for, I do not think buying something and then have it magically appear in your inventory 2 seconds later is
Yeah, of course
very
not.
No,
immersive.
and none
Yeah.
of us ever said that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad news bears
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta go and get
Other
it.
than that, I did have other questions, but I completely forgot them in the chaos of the connection issue. So I will leave it here.
Oh, good. It was probably about
the
time anyway.
yeah, yeah, and that's about it. Thanks a lot for fitting me in.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for keeping
Yeah,
the try.
cheers.
Well,
Appreciate
we put in the effort too. So check you later, Warbot, and be good, man. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
catch ya.
call.
Everyone.
Bye bye.
Yeah, good point about the traveling salesman. Makes it a little bit weird.
Yeah.
All right, our next caller is Doc, Dr.
Dr.
Introvertitious.
Introvertius.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
I'm alright, not too bad. After earlier's sort of not. It was interesting fun earlier. That's all I'll say.
They don't know what we were doing. I kind of told them we were trying to salvage things in Pyro, and it didn't actually go very well.
Yeah.
Doc got stuck in a torpedo bay. So did I. He saved me, but he did not survive the encounter.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That was very sad.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Sort of 4.0, really. Obviously, it's still not right there yet. It's not quite right.
Yeah.
Stuff isn't working as well as it should be. And yeah, they shouldn't put it out in 2 weeks. They should actually sort of hold it off until sort of like next year almost.
Yeah.
To try and get that new experience for a player if they're playing it for the first time.
Yeah, like it feels a little weird to rush things out for the current Star Citizen community who has shown their insane patience over the last 13 years. Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. That's fair.
It just, what's another month or two?
Like
I don't know.
and I've got to imagine, you know, if they release it literally on like the 20th of December, I've got to imagine the amount of new player acquisition on the 20th of December is not insanely high compared to like
they're off of
like there is a
work.
drop off in February usually of people playing online games, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Holiday breaks. Maybe there's more. I don't know.
Yeah,
They would know. They would have the
For sure.
metrics on that better than we do, obviously. So they might know something we don't there, and that's what the push is all about.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a target or something to try and get.
Yeah.
But with the current state of things, it's not ideal. There's certain issues that are happening that sort of make it a bit pointless to do certain bits in Pyro, or like the contested zones. Yeah, half of this stuff that we sort of had happening yesterday was just not acceptable for.
Yeah, Doc was playing with us in contested zones. It was just super decent. It got even worse as the The
as
new
time went on.
DGSs came on later that night as well. I don't know if because it was pretty late night for where you're at, but it only got worse. It did not get better
Yeah.
from that standpoint in particular. Like stability was good, but yeah.
Yeah, because at one point in time, the actual door was actually open for all of us.
Oh my
And
god, yeah. So
I've been looking at that clip like 10 times. I don't know how I got in.
yeah, so he's talking about Ghost Arena, and there's like the treasure room door that opens. So like we're getting all the keys, and then the treasure door opens. So the treasure door, there's like a sign that says opening. First off, it like doesn't open and for a while, and then it'll eventually open. It opened, and it just opened, and there was like the copy of the door behind it, and you couldn't get through. So there's like two doors.
Yep.
And then we kept leaving and coming back, and then just sometimes it would work. And we all came back at the same time, and he was ahead of everyone else, and the door was like closing, and he just snuck through it. He's behind the door, can't get in.
Indiana Jones grab your hat and just slide through.
Yeah, we were on either side of the door, just like we couldn't. Yeah. He had all the keys, and we're on the outside, can't see any of the loot, so we made him wait, and then we eventually got through. But yeah, stuff like that is like just game breaking.
Cracked out though. Like, some of that stuff was cracked out to like,
yeah, it's like they took all the good components out of the shops, and they're in the loot rooms, and there's gonna be reasons to go there. That's why it's got to be good though, because if you're gonna restrict things, it's got to work. It's got to work.
Yeah, and then there's all this it's like audio stuff as well. Like
a lot of audio bugs
when it works. Like the sort of like if you're at like pyro jump point and that sort of audio plays, that's really good.
Yeah,
but it just like.
But then what happens when we reload from our backpack?
Oh God!
Everyone hears it across the whole city. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just go right. There's that person there.
Exactly. He's coming. I hear him. They're coming. So
just don't push the patch out, because it will not do them any favors in the long run. I think if they want new players to come into the game and start seeing the game for what it actually is.
If it is financially feasible to wait, please wait.
Yeah,
I'm begging you, CIG.
Until
please
February,
wait.
Like,
just give us the Guardian and then release it in February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, just sell more ships. I don't care.
Yeah.
At this point, do whatever you need to do. Sell more land claims. Just don't put this patch out. Please don't do it.
Because I don't want to play this game anymore. Because I want to play like the future version of. So it was like base building and crafting, and you can take these like salvage guns and scrap them for parts.
Yeah.
And it's just
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Like other than like SCL, but that's already been talked to death. So some of the stuff that's already been said, I was going to talk about. So there's no point in saying it again, really.
All right. Sounds good, Doc. We'll let you go and see you on our next disastrous salvage time.
Yep.
Catch you later, man.
Around.
Easy. Cheers for the call, Matt.
All right, next caller. I got this one. Annie Ander.
Oh.
I got it. I practiced the whole time. Annie Ander, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hey, guys. I can hear you.
Did I get it right?
It's Ananda.
Damn it.
You missed an N. You missed an N. You got it really close.
One N. You will get it next time, Mike. First of all, I have to start with don't listen to Corrupt. Your mustache was a 10 out of 10. So I'm going.
I know it was.
Yeah.
It was
so
awesome.
So don't listen to your wife. Don't listen to all the other people's. It was a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Do you think they will push out 4.0 before live? Before the holidays. Sorry, not for live.
Yes. I think they will. And like the wanting to wait for it to happen is just like a want. It's not going to happen. It'll come out before live. The question is at what capacity, and how badly is like the reinflux of players going to affect it.
Because when you were talking about 3.18 and talked about the transitory factor, the first thing I thought of was the elevators at Grimax and how fucked they were. because when we started playing again at 3.18, when we wanted to try everything out again, we couldn't get out of any stations because of the transit system. And I'm really scared about 4.0 because of the transit system, and I really hope they would stretch out 4.0 onto PTU way longer and just put it out with the transit refactor, because if not, we will have the same as 3.18 and have broken elevators all over again.
Well, another thing we're ignoring is they're doing the mission refactor. Bro, missions don't work. I completed one in the entire PTU phase, and it was just a little salvage an arrow right next to obituary. Nothing else works. It's 2 weeks away. The whole mission system doesn't work.
Also, what I think is, it's like I was one of those guys, sadly, that's paid for subscriber access, and I wanted to try out 4.0 really badly. So I bought into it. I gave them my money again. And I had so much fun again because of the music, of the jump, everything about it. And for me, it was a really coin flip experience. One time, I had the best experience with server not crashing at all, high server FPS, missions working, everything. And then there was another experience where everything was bad. Like if they didn't work at all on 4.0. But I just hope they will take the time for the transit refactor.
Or just whatever fix you put in sticks for a little while.
Yeah.
Which is unlikely. So,
like 2 weeks ago, I want to come back to one topic again, like Hopium or Soul Crush for crafting, but this time. What are your biggest hope for crafting when they will finally put it out, and what are you most scared of when they put out crafting?
What was the second part?
Like there was a topic like a few weeks ago where you would talk about Hopium or Soul Crush or something like that.
Yeah.
And what are you scared of, and what are your biggest hopes for crafting?
Okay.
Everything they've talked about has to come out. I guess is kind of like I don't have like a hopium beyond necessarily what they've talked about with crafting. Soul Crush, if they do mess up how insurance and warranty works, that is my biggest concern. If that isn't done well, the player economy will suffer. The game will become objectively pay to win, and like obviously that sucks. That's a big problem. So that's the big Soul Crush.
I have a smaller Soul Crush. I agree with Croncy. Like, just do it, and I just want to feel what it feels like and give feedback and like get it right over time. It's not going to be good when it's not going to be perfect when it first comes out. This is my Soul Crush. Optional requirements, or I have to craft 100 Volt pistols to level up my Volt pistol blueprint instead of like, just let me just put some resources into it and take some time or something, right?
But ever thought about why they would do something stupid like crafting 100 of those? Because it's for the economy. So there are more pistols on the market and people can buy them and so on. Like I can see why
is the optional one. Gain research time by killing 5 players with it. Some players just don't want to do this, but they're going to feel obligated to do this. Maybe, right?
Exactly.
And it'll be presumably extremely exploitable if that's like the kind of
like why do it if it's I'm just going to kill my party members,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my little. It's a very small one, but that would be my it's just the first thing that came to mind for some reason.
Yeah, I can
also people in chat saying who's buying pistols. You have a it's not big gun or pistol on yourself. You can also have a pistol.
Has never played Star Marine and ran out of ammo on your weapon and quickly switched to a pistol and killed a player that had 1 HP. So
remember, it's quicker to switch to your pistol than it is to reload your gun.
Yep.
When people say something like that, I always say if they ever had played something like Modern Warfare or something like that with Deagle, there will be people that only will run with a Deagle around for the drip and nothing else. Also, one last question, because you talked about the torpedoes of the Polaris. and the price increase.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how I would feel about those changes making it into 4.0 and so on, because we're so far away from 1.0 and balancing, and we don't have crafting yet. We don't have the player economy yet. I think like it's a two-sided coin. I think it's a little bit tedious. Just like when they changed how much you needed to drink and how much you needed to eat for your model to survive. I don't know if it's worth putting it right now, because we don't know how the player economy will evolve with crafting and so on. So why put it in even now? Like, just let the people try something out and so on. And why even meddle with? Don't even mind putting price increases in right now.
Yeah.
Well, once again, price increases in general are fine, especially like the greater economy rewards are also increasing, right? There's essentially bringing the base level like up more so that it feels like to the player that you're earning more and whatnot. The missile ones in particular, though, they made them unproportionally more expensive, and they introduced the thing about not getting your missiles back on claims. It is the combination of those two things that I'm like, yeah, this is too early. Don't do that yet.
Yeah, I totally get it, because I also like they think about those things already, because there will be a point in time where they need to address all those things, also with ammunition and so on. But I don't know if it's the right time for everything right now, for anything right now, because what do we get out of it?
Because everything's broken and nothing exists.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't have crafting yet. We can't craft those things. Why increase the prices right now? Because it doesn't matter in like 1.5 years again when they put out crafting and have to address everything again. I mean, I kind of get where they're coming from, because they want to test the economy already.
I was going to ask you.
Because they're already trying things out, but they kind of don't have to, because everything will change again in 1.5 years.
Yeah. Can I hijack just for a tiny second? I think just around the whole crafting thing, that might have been confusing for some people around that aspect thing as well. I was just looking at this, and if you look at the bottom of the PowerPoint thing, there's only 2 items that you can place in. So when you're upgrading your item, you have to choose. You have to make a choice of what you want to upgrade. You're not going to be able to upgrade the integrity, the wear resistance, the misfire chance reduction, the fire rate, the blueprint velocity, the effective range, the heat per shot, cooling rate, and weight all at the same time. You're going to have to choose components that upgrade certain things. And that's what they meant by you choose the direction you want your ship to go. So when they gave I want my Gladius to fly very fast, okay, I will put whatever.
I will put the fast rock inside
into the slots that fill that role. Okay, so cool. I just want to make sure we're now on the same page with that, because now I understand.
Okay, yep, that's it from my part. I won't take up so much time like last time, where I put up like 20 minutes. So have a nice day, and thanks for the time.
No problem.
Cheers for calling in. We appreciate it. Maybe Mike will get your name right next time.
Yeah, maybe. You would see in 1 week.
Say it again.
No. You have to try again.
Aninander.
Right.
Yeah, almost. Aninander.
Yeah. All right. Oh shit! I just sent them out. Sorry. I let go of the click. I'm sorry. But goodbye, Aninander. I appreciate it. It was a good call. All right. How many more callers do you want to take, Croncy?
I reckon we probably go for one more, because I have some stuff to do today.
One more. All right. Sorry, Stempek. We're not going to get to you or Girl in Pigtails or KQ. Sorry about that. We're going to go with Pink Husky, and that is our final caller for the day.
Pink Husky, how you doing?
Hello, guys.
Hello.
So I got a few things. Well, for the shards, for example, there's going to be region-based, that's for sure, because essentially SC is real-time interaction, unlike Eve, where they can afford time dilation.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep. For the blueprints, I do agree with Mike about the naming. For example, for refining and research blueprints, they could actually name them like recipes, and for the repair specialization, for example.
Yeah.
And
I think they're
keep
going
blueprints
to.
for crafting.
I think they're going to.
Yeah.
I think they're just using, they're saying the internal names out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
for the buy and sell orders,
Mhm.
personally, I would not put a range limit. Why? Because after that, we can have actual contracts between players
Mhm.
where you
Yeah.
got to ferry the goods, and
Yes.
now you have risk and reward also. The longer the trek, the more risk you're at,
Yep.
putting yourself in.
Yes.
And that would drive player-driven economy very substantially.
Yep. The one of the big things that I'm like excited for in general with the 5 systems that we have, right, is the whole, in order to get from the third lawful system, you have to go through unlawful. So now imagine I have put in a buy order at Castra or at Stanton, and someone has to go through Pyro to fulfill that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just up
and
to
I do
you of
believe
whether or
for-
not you pick it up or somebody else does.
Yeah,
exactly. And I do believe that for the 5 first system, you'll have to go through low security, no security space. I'm sure of it. I don't think there's going to be a safe route, to Stanton to Castro, for example.
No, I hope not. Well, there may be with the, like, if you find the jump point or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, but you got
Yeah.
to look for it, and also, if I recall correctly, they did say that one wormhole may not, jump point, will not be possible for certain size of ships and so
Mhm.
on.
Yep.
So
Exciting. What
It's another one of those things of like all this when you envision they're like, hey, this one feature's coming out, and then you're like, oh my god, it works so well with this system and this system and this system that you brought out, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Hey, I got to ask you though, because we forgot to ask everyone else. Doc brought it up, but nobody else did.
Mhm.
You've been turning the music on in 4.0, or you don't have it yet? But if you don't have it yet, will you have the music on? Where you normally wouldn't, or whatever?
I always add it on.
Okay.
I just had to turn it down because the mixing is it's coming in loud.
Yeah, sometimes it gets pretty loud. True, especially when you leave the hangar. They're like,
Yeah.
Or like
and you're like,
enter Quantum.
holy chill, man.
Yeah.
I just left the hangar. It's not that big of a deal. That's the
Yeah.
one song that I would be like, all right, take it easy. But yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, seriously, he did a great job with the music.
it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's awesome.
Smashed
Pyro is leveled up. It's a level
Yeah.
5 blueprint of a star system just because of the music, I think.
Not just
Uh,
that, but also like because you are experiencing some of the new music in Stanton too, because they added the quantum, like when you actually activate your quantum drive music and stuff.
Wait,
now
you
too.
go to
So
Stanton?
even Stanton feels a bit more alive.
Yeah,
I haven't been in Stanton at all during 4.0. I probably should go there.
Awesome, Mike.
Yeah.
Go see some cows.
True. Yeah. There's some in Pyro, I think. Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't spent much time in Pyro yet.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's going to be for some people and not for others, and that's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. Anything else,
It's a
Pinkusky?
sandbox after all.
Yeah. Anything else for you, Pinkusky? Or
No, that is all.
All right. Well, I
Easy?
guess that's where we leave it. Good call. I appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Sorry for the callers that we didn't get to today. Blame Croncy. It's okay. Not my fault this time. Usually it's my
Look,
fault.
our gutters fell down, and my
Go
father's coming
take-
tomorrow to help me repair it. So I have to get some stuff ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go take care of that
Yeah.
stuff. All right. Well, Pinkusky, we'll let you go. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
calling in, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye now.
Catch you, man.
All right, and that'll do it for today's show. Croncy's got to go fix some gutters, so
Yep.
that's rough. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next week, I don't think we have any idea. Did he say what the ISC was? He did.
Yes. ISC next week is essentially the patch watch. It is.
Oh,
the,
all right, so
the
we're
4.0.
done.
These are all the features. Pretty much, yeah. SCL's done for the year.
Yeah.
We've got that. We've got that ISC. Monthly report was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's pretty much not really anything else going on this week that won't just be patches. So that's what we'll be looking at. We've got our year in review like podcast to do. We've got our predictions for next year podcast to do. So we've still got a couple
We
of
got
things to do.
podcast stuff to do.
We're working harder than Jared is. We've got some stuff to do before the end of the year.
Well, we
But
definitely do
yeah,
more episodes of our
True.
live stuff than Jared does, but he I think I'm gonna go with he probably works harder than us.
Oh yeah, for
Actually,
sure.
not probably. He definitely works harder than us.
Yeah, we just talk
Um,
shit the whole time.
But yeah, I do think monthly report will actually be this week. We haven't had monthly report yet. We had roadmap.
Is it supposed to?
It could be, or sometimes they combine them into two things, and they might do it at the beginning of next year or something like that. But
They might, yeah.
yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings with This Week in Star
Mhm.
Citizen. It would be nice to have a monthly report though,
Yeah.
but it'll be most of the stuff that you know about because it'll be the things that they're working on now. Yeah, so I think for me personally, I'll just say before we go, I need a little bit of a break. I feel like I have been working like 30 to 40 hours a week making week in review because they put out so many things. And I think the show is like leveled up. But it's my like mental is leveled down because it's that has been a lot of work to keep that.
It's intense.
To be on top of that and have all of the footage of me playing the game in the game, which reminds me, I have to send some footage to the 5-star because he helped me get some, and I'm going to share it with him. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Is I'm actually looking forward to the break, and if it's a break where we have 4.0 and it's scuffed, that's going to suck, but it'll be better than nothing.
It'll be
and
something.
It'll be something. And then if we have to wait, I think they're making the right decision, and it'll be worse in the short term, but I'm okay with worse in the short term for the long-term gain of everybody, and especially the company that's making the game that we all want to play for 20 years. I can wait 2 months. I can wait a month. Just do the right thing, guys. Do the right thing. If the game is not looking good, do the right thing. And I hope they're going to be able to do that. I hope they're going to be able to make it look good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's where I leave it. If you're watching on Twitch, I'll do the obligatory shout out to Croncy. Since if you do want to watch it on Twitch, it's live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. So I'll shout out Croncy here so you guys can follow him and show him some love. And if you guys ever want to watch it on YouTube, it's also live on YouTube at the same time at 1440p instead of at 1080p. So it might look a little bit better, the videos that we show, stuff like that. And then lastly, if you're watching on Twitch, didn't catch the whole show, you can watch it on YouTube. It's going to come up in about an hour or two, and we'll see you there. So like and subscribe if you guys are watching this on YouTube and all that stuff. And I very much look forward to catching you and having another fun conversation with Croncy next week. So
sounds good.
And the last thing is, don't forget
to answer the call.
It never ceases to cause